I have a few days off a month. And so, I cherish them very much because I'm old, and I just like to have a few days off. But I thought, well, okay, I will give up some days off because this is a great story, and especially anything positive about a church. We certainly do have enough stories out there that makes the church look terrible. So, I grew up a preacher's kid, and I can tell you about a dozen women that my character is just like them. No matter what the name of the church is, and no matter what the denomination is, God is at work in those people. You have a tendency to think the seat that you're sitting in on Sunday morning is the only place where God reigns. It's just my church. My church is great. My people are great. We're doing it right. Our theology is perfect. And when you catch on to a story where the theology may not be like yours, they don't do worship like you do it, but yet they are embracing a group of people that God called us to embrace, take care of widows and orphans and be there for people who can't do for themselves and love one another. That's universal and should be universal in any theology and in any denomination. As a born-again Christian, let's be honest, I walk a fine line in the entertainment world where I hear constantly, we are free game and we are picked on so much, and we sure give them a lot of material, and so it's really good to see one for us, that we win one, this is a story where the church looks good. We have wonderful faith-based movies now, and that genre is getting larger and larger, and Hollywood is really catching on to faith-based movies. And they all end with God wraps everything up in a pretty nice bow at the end. Or prayer works, or all those things that are great. But it's kind of neat to see one where God works through the church, and you see the church rising up and being good folks. I think that's kind of neat. It's an honest story of people that hate to give up what they know and how they have learned how to do it, and all of a sudden they have to develop a new way to worship, and then people that have to learn to open their hearts. So, yeah, it's good. It's honest. Right now we're in a political culture where people are arguing what to do about immigrants. Should people be allowed in? Should people have to leave? All those questions. And it's not a political movie, but it certainly moves you to the thought of, wow, there's some people in my neighborhood that are from Poland. I need to reach out and be nicer to them. Or there's potential in my backyard of a group of people that came in from another land, or and so it's kind of that idea of the mission field. It broadens the mission field greatly. Can I be honest? I think it's kind of fun that some really great story came out of one of our more ecumenical denominations, that we forget those are people too. We don't, we Pentecostals think, well, they didn't shout and praise the Lord or nothing. But it was beautiful. It was a beautiful representation of who they are. And even in the mock service that we had on the camera, we had the father of the church was back there, and the pastor's telling us, well, actually the candle kind of goes over there and this goes over here. And I found that fascinating, and so I love that. And it kind of made us all go, okay, we all are in one great big family. And when we get to heaven, we're all going to have to figure this out together anyway. Yeah. I want them to see the church in a good light. I constantly walk that road through the entertainment world and then the Christian comedy world. And then, are you a comedian that's a Christian, or are you a Christian that's a comedian? What is that? I walk that fine line constantly of, what crosses the line, what doesn't. And so every denomination and every theology has opinions and ideas. And so it's just great at the end of the day to see a church that rises up and does exactly what God called the church to do. Doesn't matter if the pastor wears a robe or not. It just means a group of people rallied around some broken folks that needed help. Yeah.